Hey, what's good, you guys? It's Peak out here in Singapore. It's about 1 in the morning. But you know me, we don't sleep. Okay, I do sleep. I just sleep late sometimes, okay? Don't hate me. Don't knock. It's been a pretty amazing night. I watched, gosh, what did I watch? We watched Little because I thought my mom would enjoy it, and she ran off to bed right after. And then we watched Beats, which is a Netflix movie with Anthony Anderson in there. And it was interesting, man. Honestly, I watched the movie mostly because the preview was talking about making beats and producing music and stuff, and I'd forgotten how much I've been obsessed with music all my life. And it's one of those things where I realized once I can see the pieces, like the pieces of the whole, I'm obsessed with trying to recreate. It's like usually when you hear music, you hear the melody, right? You hear the beat, you hear the melody, and that's basically all you can take apart. But once you really understand music and music production, you start hearing all the little things in there. You hear how often certain sounds repeat. You hear samples from songs, right? You hear a beat, you hear, I don't know, maybe there's a triangle in there, maybe there's a, gosh, what is that thing called? I can't even think of the damn musical instrument right now. Cymbals? Tambourine, some. You hear all the pieces, all the mini beats in there. You hear the tag, the artist, the producer tag in there. And actually, you know what? Seriously, I want a tag for myself. So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna see if I can't come up with a tag. But all that to say that I kind of watched this boy produce beats, and he was talking about he can make a beat in 2 minutes, and I was like, dang, you know what? If I could play around with that stuff one time, I'm sure I could figure it out. It could work, maybe. I don't know. It's on the list. All right, you guys. I have a list of things I want to do before I die, and that, damn it, is on the list along with a bunch of other stuff. So producing beats goes along with learning how to play the drums, learning how to play the piano, learning how to freaking read music, which yeah, I still don't know how to do. I play by ear, you guys. But another thing, I kind of want to sing. Yep, you heard me. I kind of want to sing. I took Sangeetam classes for years. I didn't graduate, but I do love singing. And yeah, so like I said, that's on the list. It's coming at some point. And maybe I'll make fun of myself first so that I can get over this, cold feet situation and the starter trouble that I usually have. But I'm telling you, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. Okay. But that's not why I named this podcast Beats. Y'all know me. I am a Netflix and chill queen. But more than chill, mine is more Netflix and skills. I see very, very clearly thought patterns that run through a character's head because obviously, they've practiced so hard, they've put so much work and effort and love into it. Obviously, it's just memorizing lines, but on top of that, you gotta deliver with the emotion on your face. You gotta show it in every piece of your performance. And I know that because I was a dancer. And when we danced, when it was expected that we produce bhavam, which is expression on your face, you had to sell the piece, the story that you were telling. So for me, when I listen to dialogue in a movie, I look for what the characters are going through, and I immediately feel. I'm a Pisces, this is what I do. I feel very deeply what each of the characters is going through. And I don't want to give away the movie, I really don't. And I just did a live video real quick on my personal page on this too. But suffice it to say, it's Southside Chicago. A lot of violence, a lot of kids dying on the streets. And basically, we follow the story of a mom and her two kids, during which the daughter, who is the oldest, was shot and died. And the son was affected because the son was right there. The bullet went straight through her, hit him, but he saw his sister die. And it was traumatic for the family because they had lost a father to a heart attack after the war. He had made it all the way through the war, came back home after serving, and died of a heart attack. But the mom is terrified now. The mom is terrified to send the kid outside of the house for fear that she will lose her last piece of her family, her son. So I'm watching this woman terrified to leave the house. She leaves the house every day like clockwork because she got a job, right? She got to pay the bills. She got to make sure there's food in the fridge. But she will not allow her son to leave the house. And at first that's comforting to him because he's not ready to face the outside world. He's not. He's having flashbacks. He has PTSD. He's remembering the gunshot. He's remembering every detail of that one night where his life changed. She's remembering in a different way. She has one thing left and she wants to protect it with all her might. But that's what becomes difficult for us as parents. Yeah, absolutely. I want to protect my child. I don't want nothing bad to happen to her. But I can't differentiate what will be good or bad. What I can help or affect is the way she sees what happens to herself. No, I can't protect her from all things. I cannot shield her so much. It would be smothering. Because the way I want to protect her, people say, I want to protect you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. They don't specify and say nothing bad. They say nothing. And their actions prove the fact that they want nothing to happen to that person, which also means no good will happen either. I have seen plenty of parents say that. My mom has said that to me. I don't want nothing to happen to you. I get it. You don't want nothing bad to happen to me. But you can't stop the good with the bad. There's no way. How are you supposed to know? On the flip side of that, the kid is guilty. The kid feels so guilty. He's over here racking his brain over, if I had just done this and if I had just done that, she would still be alive today. If I had been here instead of there, she'd be alive today. He's dealing with the guilt. He's blaming himself for the death of his sister. On the flip side of that, he's worried about his mom. He knows his mom stopped living the way she was living when that tragedy struck. It changed her entire well-being. He changed the way she saw the world. She stopped. She stopped living. And she held her baby boy close. And he understands that she's holding on to him because she needs him. So that's another piece of his psyche, right? My mom needs me. My mom needs me. My mom needs me, which means I can't let nothing happen to me either. She don't want nothing to happen to me. I can't let anything happen to me. My mom needs me. And look, I'm going to tell it to you like this. You don't have to live in the south side of Chicago for you to go through that experience. I moved my way all over Asia and Europe, finally to America, which is considered the West. It's not considered Europe, it's considered the West. I don't know why, don't ask me, it's just the way it is, right? And especially in the Sri Lankan Tamil family, it's like the West. They have some strange ideas. You don't want to be corrupted by the West. And when I got to the West, my mom was like, you know what? I don't want you adopting any of these ideas they got, them people over there. Stuff like wearing short clothes, speak in a certain way, that level of disrespect that Asian parents see in families that are Western. Can't talk back to your parents. You can't tell them, nope, well, you said this to me last week and now you're saying something different. You can't call your parents on their bullshit in Asian culture. I don't know if you're supposed to do it in American culture, but it happens. I see it a lot. I know in black families that, you will get yourself slapped real quick if you do something like that, but it still happens. But the point being, my mom wanted to protect me. She wanted me to stay Asian. She wanted me to be proud of my culture, but she wanted me to stay Asian. But the way she went about it, I hated my culture for a while. I did. It was so smothering. I didn't have room to breathe. I didn't feel like I could be myself. I couldn't figure out who I was. So I adapted the other direction. I went Western. It didn't last very long because, my mom slapped me. So the point is, we as parents, we want to protect our kids. A lot of times we want to give our kids what we didn't have growing up. Sometimes it means to smother them and keep them from making any experiences whatsoever. Or it's to give them every luxury that we never had and spoil them beyond measure. And then there are those of us who are trying to do the right thing and let you experience some stuff and let you fall down and hurt yourself and see how you learn to soothe yourself first before we step in and be like, all right, It could be better. We could do it this way instead. I know it hurts and I can help you with this instead. This is how you take care of yourself. The bottom line is, what was reaffirmed to me beyond the shadow of a doubt, there is no manual for life, man. Don't nobody teach you how to deal with your emotions. Don't nobody teach you how to do anything. Life skills, I'm talking about. How many of your teachers taught you how to deal with guilt? How many of your teachers sat you down and explained that your thoughts create your life? How many of y'all know what to do when you're afraid? Y'all know what the word courage is, but do you know what it means? Does fear stop when you have courage? Do we talk about those things? We talk about sex education and what goes where. Do you talk about the symptoms of depression? Do you talk about body dysmorphia? Do you talk about what healthy looks like? I'm talking about mental health. Public speaking classes, brilliant. They talk about self-confidence, right? When you stand in front of a group. But what about when you're one-on-one with somebody for the first time you never met them? How do you present yourself as confident? How do you feel confident? What can you do to help you feel like you're in your zone? You're always in your element. Look, I love being on the podcast. I feel safe as hell on the podcast. Y'all could pop on and send me comments and talk to me while I'm on the podcast, and I will get to it, no problem. I will not trip up. You get me on live video and do that shit, I will forget what the hell I'm saying. I'll forget. What's the difference? I can see my own face. Sad, right? But who teaches you all that stuff? You gotta hire a coach for that sometimes, right? But for me, I had to have life teach me. I had to screw up a lot. I was that girl who would not raise my hand in class if I had to go to the bathroom, because I knew the minute I raised my hand, everyone was going to turn to look at me. No, that didn't mean I was going to die and I was not going to fall into a puddle on the floor, but I didn't want everyone to look at me. I was afraid. Of what? I'm not sure, but I was afraid. Now I could care less. Now I've made some badass mistakes that, after living through that stuff, done nothing faze me. You couldn't get me to say boo to a ghost, but you take me in my senior year of high school, shave my head, put me back in high school in the middle of winter, and you know what? I'm not holding punches no more. Because I had nothing left to lose. The one thing that I thought was beautiful about myself was gone. So yeah, you're going to hear my mouth all of a sudden. Look, things happen. I'm not saying they don't. Life is tough. It's going to be tough on you. You're meant to evolve. You're not to... Look, 5 years down the road, I don't expect you to be the same person you are right now 5 years down the road. I expect you to be better. Maybe your core values stay the same. Maybe the way you speak pretty much stays the same. The way you dress will probably change a little bit. I hope it does. Gets a little bit better, a little bit easier. More cool, more fun, something. But the way you speak, the way you relate to people, the way you hold a conversation, that should change in 5 years. It should get smoother. You should be better at it. You should be more comfortable. I'm telling you, man, this movie, Beats, had me thinking. Really. Y'all should watch it. You'd enjoy it. But I see this all the time. You don't have to be in a movie to have this stuff happen to you. Parents will be parents no matter where you go. They want to protect you. Most of them want to protect you. Some of them still want to protect themselves. Some of them still weren't ready to have kids. They're still kids themselves and they're working through some shit. But don't nobody know how to teach them how to deal with that stuff until they cry out for help or they do something drastic where their behavior cries out for help. Don't wait till then. It's hard to correct at that point. You dug yourself into a huge, huge hole with quicksand. So when you first feel something, get used to saying something about it right away. And no, people might not take you seriously, but you say it anyway. You do it for you. Don't know how? Call me. We'll talk about it. I'll teach you what I know. You worried about all your thoughts and how they crowd in on you sometimes? So much so that you can't even focus on nothing else. You're having a panic attack. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about where it starts. What triggered the beginning of it? What do you see and hear? Tell me everything. We'll walk through that shit together. Right there with you. I can't do the work. I can't shine light into your shadows. You got to do that. But we can talk about and figure out where it's starting from, where it's attached to you, so you know where to start. Freedom. We underestimate the power of that freedom. We tend to build our own cages. We tend to make our own limitations. Those glass ceilings we talking about busting through, a lot of times we create those too. But with a strong mind and a strong heart, anything is possible. Impossible is one of those things that you don't think would ever happen. There's no way in the world, the odds are stacked against it. But you know what? It happens anyway. That's a miracle. Don't wait to talk about your feelings. Don't wait till you're stuck and can't move. Start talking about it. Start talking now. Man up. Name those fears. Speak up. Have the conversation. No, they're not fun. They're not meant to be fun. But you're not meant to trap yourself either. I love you guys. I want you to thrive. Really thrive. Live. I'll talk to you soon. Good night.